Saitama's new disciples go absolutely crazy in chapter 198 of One Punch Man, with the continuation of this non-stop ninja action that we've been getting these past couple chapters, as we see Flashy Flash and Sonic take on the Heavenly Ninja Party all at once. Now, some of you might be a little confused that I'm talking about Sonic and Flashy Flash as Saitama's newest disciples, but I'll explain myself in a second. For now though, we have to appreciate this awesome chapter cover that we got from Murata. It is of course that time of year, Christmas time is coming around, and pretty much every year around this time, Murata does put out a holiday cover like this, and honestly, he never disappoints. It looks great. Look at Saitama in the background. I mean, come on. What I will say though is that since we're getting a Christmas cover so early here, like a few weeks beforehand, I am getting the feeling that this might be the last chapter for the year. And the reason I say that is because a lot of manga magazines overall you tend to go on break for a pretty prolonged period of time around this time of year. They take the holidays pretty serious over there in Japan, which, you know, I don't blame them. Let them have their time off and enjoy it. Just warning you guys now, this might be the last chapter for the year. Fingers crossed we get one more before the year ends, but you know, this might be it. But if you guys remember from the previous chapter, we had Flashy Flash and Sonic have their quick exchange, their little mini battle where they kind of flex their muscles, their ninja muscles at each other and try to see who's the strongest. Of course, neither of them are going to admit that the other one's stronger, but I think more importantly than that, in that chapter, we got some interesting nuggets about Sonic and Flashy Flash past, like how we found out that Sonic is actually the one that taught Flashy Flash how to use a sword in the first place. I do like how these past couple chapters we've been developing the relationship between Sonic and Flashy Flash, or kind of rehashing it technically, seeing as how we've been getting all these flashbacks of them being friends as kids and the impact that one had on the other in their childhood. I think this is all getting brought up to kind of set them up as new friends or as new fun rivals for the future. I absolutely love both Sonic and Flashy Flash's characters, so you know, it's been pretty awesome seeing them in the spotlight these past couple chapters and seeing them potentially team up for future missions and things like that. Hey, maybe we might get Sonic as a hero, who knows? But after that exchange, the Heavenly Ninja Party shows up to pretty much jump Sonic and Flashy Flash at once after they realize that Sonic isn't going to help them in eliminating and luring out Flashy Flash. Sonic had actually took it upon himself to meet up Flashy Flash without telling the Heavenly Ninja Party in order for him to fight him himself. Again, kind of indicating that he's not trying to kill Flashy Flash, he still has kind of a soft spot for him, even though he probably won't ever admit it. Well, we pick up here exactly where the previous chapter left off, as Flashy and Sonic are planning out how they're going to handle this big group of super powerful ninjas, and as they're talking amongst themselves, the Heavenly Ninja Party leader offers up Hellfire, Flame, and Gale Wind to be the first ones to fight them. And of course, Hellfire and Gale want to fight Flashy Flash. That's all they've wanted to do since we've seen them in the manga, but they are also bitter that the Heavenly Ninja Party took them hostage and are essentially using them as pawns for their goals. So it's not like they're very attached to them either. To me, this is kind of showing that these two are going to have a face turn at some point, and what Flashy Flash mentions a little later in this chapter definitely makes me think this. So again, I'm pretty excited to get more cool ninjas involved in the story as good guys, but Flashy Flash mentions that them working together, him and Sonic, is going to benefit them in this battle since they are outnumbered. And the reason that working together is so important here is because in the ninja village from where they're from, they're all taught to fight alone and to operate by themselves. It's been hammered home that at the ninja village, they did not allow friendships, they didn't allow emotions, they pretty much wanted to create killing machines. So Flashy Flash's line of thinking here is that the Heavenly Ninja Party is strong individually, but they likely don't know how to work together as a unit. So that's where Sonic and Flashy Flash can have the advantage. So they decide while Flashy Flash takes on Hellfire and Gale Wind by himself, Sonic is supposed to fend off the rest of the ninjas as he's doing that. And as we can see here, Sonic is a strong ninja. He is pretty powerful, but you know, being overwhelmed by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ninjas is going to be a problem no matter how strong you are. And you can see it on his face here that he's trying to dodge these blows as quickly as he can. So the best he can do now is hold them off until Flashy Flash comes back. Hellfire and Gale Wind try to tie up Flashy Flash in their threads of poison. I think they tried using those in the underground base of the Monster Association as well, but as they weave all the threads around Flashy Flash and try to close them on him to kind of keep him restrained, but of course Flashy Flash is too fast for them, so he evades the attack, and Hellfire and Gale Wind end up getting caught up in their own trap. We also see Gale Wind kind of confirming what Flashy Flash was thinking, in that all the ninjas that are attacking Sonic right now are kind of clashing into each other, kind of bumping into each other as they're attacking him, so their synergy is way off. Either way though, some of them get really close to stabbing Sonic right in the back, and it seems like he's like pretty much a goner for a second, but Flashy Flash comes in at the last second and takes out all of their swords in a single kick. Sonic, being the super prideful guy that he is, of course is saying that he didn't need any help and to butt out of his fight, but of course he needed the help, so I'm sure deep down he's pretty thankful that he's still alive. Now that Flashy Flash has Hellfire and Gale Wind restrained, it's now officially time for them to start working together to fight against all of the Heavenly Ninja Party. And And the reason why Flashy Flash took on Hellfire and Gale Wind first is actually pretty important, and Flashy Flash explains why in a minute. But first we see Sonic and Flashy Flash working together perfectly, Sonic rolling on Flashy Flash's back and covering each other's sides to take on all these swords coming in from different directions. And the Heavenly Ninja Party members themselves are even noticing how well their synergy is right now. Like their breathing is even synchronized, and they're fighting using a type of style that hasn't been seen in centuries as this ancient technique or this ancient form of fighting, or at least to them, because these ninjas of course have been raised their entire lives to fight alone. So it's pretty clear that Sonic has become stronger since the very first time we saw him at the beginning of the anime or the manga. And Flashy Flash has always been super strong, but it seems like both of them, even though it's more so Sonic in particular, are going to be getting a pretty massive power buff from this whole arc. And this whole team up fight is kind of going to show how much they've improved over time. Again, more so Sonic than Flashy Flash. And as I talked about in my previous video, I do think this is a result of Sonic and Flashy Flash being motivated by Saitama in some way, which, as I explained, in a way inadvertently makes them part of Saitama's group of disciples pretty much. Because if you think about it, all the encounters that Sonic has had with Saitama in the past have essentially been sparring sessions where Sonic is getting a little better and a little stronger every time, trying to develop new moves, new techniques to finally take down Saitama. And we saw in the previous chapter that when it came time to actually take on the Heavenly Ninja Party, Sonic saw all of them as grains of sand compared to Saitama, even tinier than grains of sand compared to the ultimate goal that he's been chasing this entire time. So if you know that whole saying, if you shoot for the stars then you reach the moon, that's kind of what's been happening with Sonic throughout the story, where he's foolishly trying to become as strong as Saitama. We all know that he'll never be, but in the process he might become one of the strongest characters we've seen in the series. And the same goes for Flashy. Now that he knows that there's someone out there that's stronger and faster than him in the hero ranks, he's not going to take that lightly. These two guys have some pretty heavy pride. And what I've noticed that I think is kind of interesting is that if you guys remember a while back, when Genos is having this like identity crisis about not feeling much stronger than when he started as Saitama's disciple, he feels like he hasn't been making any progress, and he's almost frustrated with the fact that Saitama is so strong that he'll never reach his level and Saitama will never see him as his equal. It kind of bums him out and demoralizes him. When on the flip side, I feel like Sonic has been constantly motivated, constantly energized by the prospects of finally beating Saitama. And even though it might not be true, he's been feeling like he's been getting closer and closer to finally beating him. It just goes to show how far an ego goes, because Sonic will keep pushing, keep continuing to fight without doubting himself, while Genos is kind of demoralized right now. So it's kind of these two paths that Saitama's quote-unquote disciples are heading down. But coming back to the chapter, we see that the fighting is taking a pause for a moment, and Sonic wonders why Flashy Flash hasn't finished off Hellfire and Gale Wind. And Flashy Flash says that they're really important for research back at the Hero Association because of the fact that they used to be monsters when he first encountered them, but for some reason they're now humans. Us as readers, we know that they were revived somehow by Phoenix Man's ability and then kind of electrocuted by Child Emperor, which in a way shocked them out of their zombified state. They were pretty much reanimated in a way. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure myself how they became humans again and got all the monsterification out of them. So Flashy Flash is smart to wonder exactly how that happened, especially as we saw a few chapters back that Blast has been secretly working on a way to turn monsters back into humans, or at least the ones that have eaten monster cells. So it's likely that Hellfire and Gale Wind are going to be playing a major role in all this, in developing a cure for these monsters that were formerly humans. And who knows, maybe they're going to play a part in turning the ninja leader back into Empty Void. But after mentioning this, Flashy Flash says to the Heavenly Ninja Party that if they're lucky, their master's going to wake up and kind of turn the tides of this battle here, or the priority of the situation is going to change. And the members of the Heavenly Ninja Party are kind of confused as to what he means by this. And in the final panel of this chapter, we get Flashy Flash in this shadow saying, "You fools haven't noticed yet." So I don't know if this means that Flashy Flash has some kind of trump card that he hasn't told anybody about, or maybe he's done something while everybody else was fighting that nobody noticed to kind of take them all out at once, or I don't know, just come out with some other crazy reveal. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, so I want to hear your guesses in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Definitely always curious to hear your thoughts in the comments. That is it for this video though. Have an absolutely wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video.